Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin. If you're new here, if you're not, thank you so much for stopping back by. I apologize in advance that I will not have my face in this video. I let my partner borrow my camera because he was on a big fishing trip this past weekend, so fingers crossed I'll be back on camera in the next video, but I wanted to go ahead and get this one recorded so we can go ahead and just dive right into my monthly budget with me video for May. I'm going to tell you all about what I plan to do with my money. So first up, we have housing and utilities. I've got $444.85 for the mortgage, $85 for electricity. That's based on last year's bill and is half the bill. Water at $10.50, internet at $23. It went up a little bit. Trash at about $14. And like I said, all of those bills are half. So I split them with my partner. So they probably all look a little low. I do live in the Midwest to begin with. So in general, our cost of living is a bit lower anyway. But with that, we'll move to my phone bill. That is just an auto payment set up through Straight Talk. I pay $37.89 a month for a limited data plan. It works for me. So that's why that one looks cheap as well. Next up, we'll move right along to my auto section. In this section, I cover the auto insurance, which looks like it'll be somewhere around $130. Last month it was $128, so I'm hoping it kind of stays around there, but we'll see. And then for fuel, I've budgeted $75. The reason for that is I now have a little gas getter and I don't drive that much, but it's still summer coming up, so we'll see. I think 75 should cover me. Next up, we have my debt section, and I have budgeted $290 for my auto loan payment. That is my minimum payment on my 2015 Chevy Cruze. And then my plan for payoff for that vehicle is paying double, so $290 and $290, and then an additional $135 is in there because that's my student loan minimum payment. So when loans for student loans come back up, I will be putting that towards student loans instead. But for now, I'm keeping it in the budget and just throwing it at my auto debt. So that'll be another $425 I plan to put towards the car this month. Next up, we have my food budget. For groceries, I've budgeted $250. This is a little bit higher. Groceries, I mean, everybody's kind of struggling to stay on the grocery budget, I think, and I'm no exception to this. So I have increased it a little bit. I'm really hoping I can stick to it this time. But I am also considering trying the super discounted every plate plan, if I can swing that in the budget. Just trying that out for when it's on the plan, it's $1.76 per meal. So it ends up being pretty cheap for a couple weeks if you do that. But we'll see. I don't know if they rope you into a whole month or something. So we'll just see. But I'm thinking about it. And then for restaurants, of course, I plan to have $50 there just in case I want to go out and cover dinner or go out with the girlfriends or something like that. Next up, we have my entertainment. These are just my subscriptions. So I have Spotify, I have Amazon Prime discounted, Paramount Plus, Hulu is discounted as well, and then I pay for a podcast. Those amounts never change, and you can see them on screen. It's like $10, $6, $1, and $5, something like that. And then the next section I have in my budget is miscellaneous, and I have a few categories here. The first one is Humane Society. So this is my giving category, really. I could give it anywhere, but I've just been pulled towards Humane Societies as of late after losing our pup in December. So $25 towards the Humane Society, and maybe more if I have more to give, and just whatever happens. But I'm trying to make it a priority to donate something every month and have it in the budget. Next up, I have $75 budgeted for household and toiletries. That's pretty typical and has been working really well. That has been keeping us on track with paper towels, and toilet paper, and Brita filters and all that kind of stuff. So it's been working great. Next up, I have $75 budgeted for personal spending. I don't know what I'm going to use that for yet, but I might try to save it. Who knows? And then lastly, in the miscellaneous section, I have an actual miscellaneous item there, and I've got it set to $30. It used to be $50. This month it's a little lower. I'm trying to do better about not having random expenses. Everything should kind of fit in a category because I do have quite a lot of categories. So $30 for miscellaneous should cover me. Next up, we have savings and sinking funds. I did make a little change to this for this next month, I split up the actual column to be spent and saved, because a lot of times in these sections, I'm pulling money out and spending it for that category because it's a sinking fund and that's what it's for. And then sometimes I'm saving money, or sometimes I'm doing both in one month. And prior, just having the actual column, it made it very unclear if I was saving or spending. And it made it to where my little donut charts would look like I saved a lot more money than I did because I was actually spending it. So I've broken it up, and I'm hoping this will give a better picture of what I'm actually doing with my savings and sinking funds every month, not only to make it clearer for me and just make more sense, but also so I can actually see, like I said, those savings rates and kind of go through everything for you guys too. So with that, I am going to be putting $250 towards my Roth IRA this month. I will be putting $25 into my brokerage account. That's through M1 Finance. It's just a regular after-tax brokerage. $75 into my propane sinking fund for when we need to fill our tank. And then $100 towards my home fund. That's a little bit lower because I've increased elsewhere, and I already have $1,200 in there, so I'm okay with that right now. For auto, it's going to be around $100 a month typically, but this month I've got to register my Jeep, and I know it's going to be right under 95, so I went ahead and just put in 95 there for this month. For vacation, I dropped it from $275 to $250 because I ended up having a good amount left over after my New Orleans trip to use for my vacation with my partner, and I've already paid for everything wedding related in June, so I don't need to put as much in there, and I might even slow down this winter for that. Who knows? But next up, we have my gifts fund. I have $25 allotted for gifts this month, and I'll probably end up using that for one of the other weddings. I'm attending 4 weddings in June, so I've already got a few of them covered, but I might have to put that towards the one that we haven't bought anything for yet. And then for my family fund, fun fact, I've known about a big expense coming up for a while now, and that's kind of what sparked me starting a sinking fund, so I could get used to putting money back for that specific purpose. And so right now I'm going to be ramping up the savings for that. I believe I will be making the first payment on it's dental work for a family member. So I believe I'll be making the first payment next month. So with $200 this month, I should be able to make a big chunk payment when that first comes up. It's going to be great. I'm really excited to be able to help out with this. It's something that's been a long time coming, you guys, and y'all know I love my family, so yeah, pretty excited. But that's why I increased that one, because that actual expense is coming up quick. And then for my emergency fund, I'm still just slowly trucking along and putting $100 a month in there. I had hoped to put a little bit more this year, but I just wasn't sure when that family expense was going to come up, and I knew that I was going to have to cut back somewhere. And so I'm cutting back home and emergency a little bit there, as well as auto and vacation, to be able to focus on that family expense. And then once that's paid off, which I don't expect will take too awfully long, I will get back on emergency fund saving. I'd love to have a 12-month FU fund, but for now it's $100 a month, and we're just trucking along until we get there. So you can see I've got $2,500 in that account, so it's nothing to spit at, and I've got plenty of other accounts I could pull from in an actual dire emergency. But having all these sinking funds means that, if I have car trouble, I'm not pulling it from my emergency fund, I'm pulling it from my auto fund. So fortunately, I don't see anything crazy happening, and I think I'm okay $100 a month in the emergency fund. So that's kind of what my savings and sinking funds look like right now. Definitely let me know if you have any questions. I will say, for the privacy of my family, I probably won't answer anything about my family sinking fund, just that it's to cover dental work. So, but other than that, any questions about savings or sinking, just hit me up in the comments. Lastly, I'll go over my income here. I just expect to get 2 paychecks and maybe the Indiana universal tax refund. Everybody's supposed to get $125, but I didn't include it here because I don't know when it's going to come through. They are saying it might be in May, but we just don't know. So we'll see. So it's not included, but I do think it'll come through. And then you can see I've got like a little bit of a negative $1.29, but I do think I'll end up not being negative by the end of the month. That's just a few cents really in a couple categories, and I'll be fine. And then you guys can see my budget breakdown here, which I do expect to go over more often in the future, just because, like I said, I fixed that savings rate, and it should be more accurate now for expenses and savings. And so I'm expecting a 22% debt rate, a 32% savings rate, and 21% housing and utilities, and the rest kind of split up between the other sections in my budget, as you guys can see. So With that, that's kind of all I have to go over. I'm sorry this video might have bad audio. It may have not been a fun one to watch, but I did want to go ahead and share it because I did record it. Unfortunately, when I first recorded it, the audio did not take, so I had to do a narration over it, and so I seriously apologize, you guys. I normally do not have to do these like voiceovers, and so I don't actually have a real microphone, so I'm just kind of yelling into my laptop. So if it sucked, I'm sorry. I will do my best to not do these videos like this in the future. Hopefully you'll catch my smiling face in the next one. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great morning, noon, or night, whatever it is for you.